Hey everyone, welcome to Kenai Flips. Thanks for tuning in today. It's probably morning or I guess afternoon for some of you by the time you watch it. It is about midnight here on Thursday for me, so sorry if my voice is a little scratchy. It's kind of been a long day. I was getting all of the packages ready to go out tomorrow, and I noticed that Facebook has changed some of the things on their shipping. So I figured I'd go ahead and record the video now and mention the new changes since they actually fixed one of the things. It seems like they fixed one of the things that I have an issue with that I was going to talk about in this video. So let's get into our discussion about my 5 favorite things that sold this week. First up, my personal favorite item that I liked were these awesome vintage medical magazines. They have some really amazing graphics inside. We had an antique medical journal publication book that sold really quickly, and one of our regular buyers reached out to me and said, please let her know if I get anything similar because she missed that one. And I knew I had these, so I went and found the tote I had them in, and I went ahead and listed them. I made 4 lots and she bought 2 of them. I'm really excited to see what she does with these, and I love them. Now this next item, actually, I am glad it's gone because every time I got into the tote it was in to put something away or get another item out, the squeaker would go off and my dog would come running into the room and think I got him a toy, and I felt bad every time. And it went to someone who's actually purchased from us before recently, and I bring up that sale because that buyer actually is the reason that we changed how we do shipping. A few days after he bought his last item, I got a message and he was obviously upset and frustrated and wanted to know why I hadn't sent his item yet. And this was 2 or 3 days after I'd already taken it to the post office. Which I told him, I checked the tracking and sent it to him, and it said it was going to arrive the next day. He's not the first person to ask why their item hadn't shipped yet or where it was, but he was the first one to reply when I responded. So that is actually how I found out that Facebook had not been updating buyers on tracking information. So I've purchased on Marketplace before to see what it's like for the buyer, and when I did that, I got plenty of notifications. Seller shipped the item, item is in transit, item should be delivered today, and I got an email saying item had been delivered before the mailman even made it back into his truck. So I assumed it was still that way for buyers, and that the occasional people who messaged upset just didn't know how to use the system. But apparently, at least for a few users recently, Facebook was sending out a notification that said sellers printed a shipping label and was waiting to drop the package off at the carrier. And that was it. No more messages. That's all I would get. So that's really frustrating that I try to ship every other day and give my buyers really quick shipping turnaround time, and Facebook was just making it look like I just had packages sitting at home and then they would just randomly show up at people's doorstep. Especially with the post office so far behind right now, and people are getting delays and they don't really know what's going on with tracking. So because this buyer actually talked with us about it and we were able to figure out what was going on, I started sending a quick note to all of my buyers, something like thank you for your order. Facebook hasn't been updating everyone with tracking information, so in case you have any issues, here's your tracking number with USPS. If I got the impression they were a new buyer, I would sometimes say you can look it up on the website, something like that, and then I put the tracking number in. It only took me a few seconds per order. It was an extra step that I wasn't used to. So since I've done that, I have not gotten any messages asking where's my package, what's the tracking number, what's taking so long. So that's definitely something that I would recommend if you sell in Marketplace. It's worth a few extra seconds if your volume isn't so high that you can't manage that without setting yourself really far behind. Now, what I noticed when I went to mail packages today is that in the chat, instead of saying to the buyer, shipping label was created, it says shipping label was created, tracking number, and it puts it there. I still think I'm going to type out the little message. It's, like I said, only a couple of seconds to copy and paste it. And without seeing it from the buyer side, just seeing it from the sellers, it looks like it would be part of the grayed out chat where it's not a bold message. So if you open the chat window, there's a bunch of words and then you would see a message. So I'm not sure everyone's even going to read that or know how to check it, or even if it shows up for sure on the buyer side. So until I hear back from a few buyers that they actually can see the tracking on their own, I'm still going to be sending my little message. If it saves me one conversation a week, it's worth the time putting in to send that rather than have a buyer message you who didn't see the tracking and wants to know the very specifics about where their package is. But I am still impressed that Facebook is changing that and trying to be a better platform to buy and sell on. The next item to talk about is more ephemera. This actually was 2 lots, one big ephemera lot and then a book I had listed separately, and then I also threw in one extra piece for the buyer. It was originally $48 plus shipping for the 2 different lots. We negotiated down to $45 plus combined shipping. But the reason I love this lot, not only am I happy that I sold all these Polaroids because I think they're awesome, is this buyer originally messaged me, is this still available on a $10 ephemera lot? And on all of my listings where it applies, I put in the description more whatever available, more ephemera, more books, more vintage toys, whatever available. And this buyer messaged me on the $10 one, asked if it's still available, and said, I'm looking at more of your listings. So that little phrase turned a possible $10 sale into a $45 sale. Next is something you may all know that I love already, and that is stretch pennies, elongated coins, or as I had to list them on Facebook because penny and coin would get flagged even though there's a coin and money section. Elongated souvenirs. These I actually sold 2 lots of. The first one already went out. This one's going out in the morning. When I saw this local listing, it was $50 for a little box of penny books. And they just said Disney mostly full. I left that night and went and picked them up. But I pulled out one of everything for myself to use for however I figure out how to display these things at some point. And I also pulled out another set that I have listed that is just one of whatever was left, no duplicates. That one's still listed, but then I took the rest and I split them into random 100 coin lots, and both of them sold relatively quickly. And lastly are these California raisins that I sold very quickly. So I guess this is more of a question for any of you who know anything about these. I'm always happy for a very quick sale, even if it means I may be underpriced a little bit. But I listed these and they sold pretty much right away. And a few minutes later, I got another message saying, if that falls through, I want to buy these. Which has only happened a couple of times to me before. So, do any of you guys know anything about this? Is there like a rare raisin in here or something? I don't know. I'm happy for the sale. I made a good profit on it. But I am kind of wondering if it was one specific raisin in this lot that did well, or I just happened to post it right at a time when 2 people happened to be searching for it. Well, that's all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to enter our book giveaway if you haven't done that yet. You've got a few days left. And if you like this video and want to see more of these Facebook Marketplace recap videos, please leave a like below and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.